Alright, hello guys. In this video I have a very exciting topic for you. Today we're going to be dealing with, in the coming days, a winter storm that's going to be impacting regions pretty far south that haven't been seeing winter weather so far this winter. So I have a very exciting video for you guys today. Now before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends and family if they live in the impacted regions. Let's get right into things. Now, first things first, we're going to be looking at our current hazards, or our advisories, watches, and warnings. And you can see we do have some winter storm watches down there in some of the impacted regions like Kansas, Oklahoma, and a bit of Texas as well. And some winter weather advisories there for the mountains of North Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee. Alright, so that's all going to be with this storm that we're talking about today. Obviously, this one won't be named as it's pretty minor. I would call it a moderate winter storm just because of the location, and actually we are expecting 6 to 10 inches of snow for some regions. We're going to have our official snowfall forecast at the end of this video, and also simulated radar, all sorts of cool stuff in this video. Now, we're going to move on to our storm track map, where we're going to start adding layers to this map right here, and it's going to give you a good depiction of what kind of impacts you should be expecting for your region. We're going to be dealing with some thunderstorms, some flooding rains, and some wintry weather for some of this storm as well, and this is going to be a pretty decent southern winter storm. That's what I'd go ahead and call it. Alright, so we're about to get into that, and we're going to add some layers here, which is going to give us a very good depiction of what to expect. Alright, so let's add our first layer here, and this is going to be our rainy layer. Most of these areas are just going to be dealing with some rain, and we're going to add some snow layers on top of this. So this does not mean you won't be seeing snow. This just means that a lot of these areas will be seeing rain, and sometimes I put rain underneath some of the snow, and it shows in areas like Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas. We're expecting all snow mostly. Let's add that second layer, and we have thunderstorms expected for Louisiana, portions of Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina. This could lead to some severe weather. I'm not really eyeballing too much of that. It's going to be mostly, I think, just typical thunderstorms possible within this area, if not heavy showers and rain to be expected for some of these southern areas where the low pressure system is going to track. And you can see it's going to track right over that region and then out to sea, not really tracking up the coast. Otherwise, it would be an east coast snowstorm, but it's really just going to head straight out to sea. And then our snow layers here, which is our winter storm layer, we can see Colorado, northern portions of New Mexico, northern Texas, northern Oklahoma, southern Kansas, and then through some central regions of Missouri. Also notice there in the Smoky Mountains and Appalachian Mountains, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee. We're all expecting to see potentially snow in the very high elevation areas over there as well. Very exciting storm that has some thunderstorms, some snow. It's pretty similar to a springtime winter storm, except it's very so far south. But we have all different types of weather going on with this one. Very exciting storm here. We're about to get into our simulated radar on our RGEM model, which is my absolute favorite model, and this is going to do a very good job of telling us what time of the day we could be expecting to really see a lot of snow for some regions. It could be heavy at times. This is going to do a very good job of showing you what precipitation type you could be seeing at certain times of the day in the coming days. Alright, and this is going to be by about 8 p.m. tonight. We can see some snow starting up for Colorado and New Mexico. This won't lead to too much accumulation, I don't expect. It's going to be very short-lived as our low pressure system is not very developed yet, but it is located there near the panhandle of Texas, as you can see by this point. Let's move on, and this is going to be by 2 a.m. tonight into tomorrow, so heading towards Tuesday, 2 a.m., January 28th. And we see Kansas, Colorado right there on that border, and then southern Nebraska is getting the brunt of the snow, and you see those very deep blues. That's where we're actually expected to get some pretty heavy snow, and I expect that this could be thunderstorms down there near or to the west of Dallas, actually there. I'm not too familiar with many Texas areas, but I know that is to the west of Dallas and Fort Worth and everything. Where we see some of those yellows popping up. That could be some potential thunderstorm activity going on, but you can see our heavy to moderate to heavy snow is on the borders of Colorado, Kansas, and Nebraska by this point. Let's move on, and this is going to be, I would say this is, very early in the morning. This is probably 5 a.m. January 28th, Tuesday, and we see the very heavy band of snow there it's there for the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle, and then there through the very west central regions of Kansas. Very heavy snow, and then we see some light to moderate snow at least for Nebraska through the very western portions of Kansas. So we do have some pretty good snow activity going on, and this is going to start to accumulate pretty quickly. For some of the more southern regions, this could start out as a bit of rain, and that could hinder some of the accumulations, but I think that we won't be dealing with too much, especially up there on the Kansas side. For Oklahoma and Texas, we could be dealing with some rain, but as you head further north, it's going to be less and less rain, more and more snow. All right, now we're about to move forward, where we're going to see that snow dive further and further south. And we're going to see more of it, and it's going to accumulate very quickly. And then we're going to start talking about accumulations after we're done with the Futurecast radar here. Okay, and as you can see, the very western regions of Nebraska are still getting some moderate snow through the very western regions of Kansas. And for the panhandle of Texas, it's moving further and further south, and also into Oklahoma, we're seeing that dive in. We still have that very heavy area of snow that's going to be the starting region of snow. So this RGEM model does a really good job with intensity. It's very conservative, so it does a really good job of not overdoing things, which a model like the NAM model would be very guilty of overestimating the precipitation strength. And typically the RGEM model does not do this. It typically does a very good job with placement of precipitation type and also with the intensity, and that's why it's actually my favorite short-range wintertime model. It does a very excellent job with these types of situations. So seeing this very heavy precipitation, this very heavy snow after the rain-snow mix line is a very good sign that we will be dealing with some very quick accumulation after we see rain. And that's important because on wet ground, if you see very heavy snow, that can start to stick very fast. But if it's light snow, as we all know, it starts to melt on contact. But if we get that heavy snow, it could start to accumulate very fast, which should get this system moving very quickly. And I expect on that Kansas and Oklahoma border, that's where we're going to be seeing the heaviest amounts of snow. And this was about by 11 a.m. Let's move on once more. And this is going to be by, I would say this is about 3 p.m. or so on Tuesday, January 28th. We see moderate snow. That heavier area of snow kind of dies down a little bit, and we see more moderate snow there on the Oklahoma-Kansas border. Let's move on towards maybe dinner time, 6 p.m., Tuesday, January 28th, and you can see it's just tracking its way east and further east here. Maybe some thunderstorms going on for Texas and Oklahoma border there. Let's move on once more, and this is going to be by about 1 a.m. on Wednesday, January 29th, and we see the heaviest of the snow has kind of died down, but eastern Kansas in through central Missouri is really where the heaviest snow is located by this point, where we could see potentially 3 to 6 inches of snow for those regions, and then potential thunderstorms going on for Louisiana and Arkansas by this point, maybe southern Oklahoma as well. Would not be surprised if we see a marginal risk for this region. And then by the time we're at, this is going to be maybe 6 a.m. on Wednesday, January 29th. It's mostly a Missouri, Illinois, and Kentucky storm by this point. Thunderstorms for southern Arkansas and northern Louisiana being picked up by this model. And then by the time we reach that evening, it's still snowing pretty light to moderate in Missouri. And then it's pretty much wrapped up by the time we reach 9 a.m. on Thursday, January 30th. So this is going to be a 3-day system here. And on this frame, as you can see, it's pretty much moved out to sea. And I just wanted to show this frame because this kind of tells the story that we can see it does not track up the East Coast. It actually is pretty flat and it moves straight out to sea, which is important because, again, if it tracked up the coast, this would be an East Coast snowstorm, but that is not the case with this one. This is generally not going to do that at all. It's going to move straight out to sea, and we're pretty close. This is only 90 hours out. The storm will be out to sea, so we're very close to the beginning of this system, obviously. All right, now we're about to get into your official snowfall forecast, which is going to be very, very exciting to take a look at. It's going to tell the whole story of how much snow you could expect to accumulate in your region. All right, so as you can see, we're starting out with our dusting to 3-inch region here, and you can see the very western regions of Nebraska. We saw some heavier or moderate snow, I would say at least, for this region. That could lead to a dusting to 3 inches of snow, and then the very eastern regions of Colorado as well, in through most of Kansas. Kansas is really going to get the brunt of this one, and then northern Oklahoma as well. A little bit of the panhandle of Texas, and then maybe even a little bit of northern Arkansas, though I'm doubtful that we will see much accumulation there. And then through some of the southern and central regions of Missouri, and through a bit of Illinois, and then also keep an eye there on the mountains of West Virginia through Virginia, and then the mountains of Tennessee and North Carolina, where we could see a dusting to 3 inches of snow there towards the tail end of this system. Now let's add our 3 to 6 inch regions, and you can see we have 2 of these. One there, I think, for central Missouri. I think in this region we could see, just because we're going to see light to moderate snow for so many hours, as we saw, we're really going to see a general 3 inch be possible, at least scattered in the Missouri region. I think we will definitely see at least 3 inches in some regions there. And then you can see for the very southwestern regions of Kansas specifically, and then the northwestern regions of Oklahoma, I think that's going to be the bullseye for 3 to 6 inches of snow for these regions. That's a pretty wide area of 3 to 6 inches. And then we even have a 6 to 10 inch region here. You can see right there on that Oklahoma and Kansas border. Again, I think that's where we will see the heaviest of the snow and accumulation within that region there. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be safe if you live there in the southern United States, or more of the plains, I guess you could say. Really, we're going to be dealing with moderate to heavy snow in some regions, and it could get dangerous and slick out there, so just be careful. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends and family, and I'll see you guys in the next video.